All right. What you got? Any idea why Michael and Satan were arguing over the body of Moses in Jude 1:9? Paul H. You guys, can anybody ask me Old Testament stuff? You're asking me all these New Testament questions. I'm not a New Testament scholar. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good question. I'll tell you again. I'm saying this tentatively. Jude quotes a passage from, I believe it's from the Testament of Moses. It's not in scripture. It's not even in the Apocrypha. It's a pseudepigraphical work. It's a popular Jewish folk literature of the day that was widely read. Jude obliquely cites it as an example of how recognizing authority and recognizing that God is the one to do the ultimate judging and the ultimate rebuking. And then he kind of pulls this example from this Jewish folktale of Michael and Satan having an argument. And all these traditions arose after Moses died because his grave is not known. You would think the most famous person in the history of Israel, they would know where he was buried. If he died on Mount Nebo or somewhere around Mount Nebo, his grave should be known about. And it's not. And so all of these traditions developed about what happened to Moses' body. And some believe God took his body into heaven and he's not buried anywhere. I mean, he still died. He not like Elijah where he was taken alive into heaven. He died, but that his body was taken. And there's all these traditions developed. The question is Jude, by referencing that, is he teaching historical doctrine? Or is he using a homiletical sermon illustration? And I think he's doing the latter. I think what Jude is doing when he references that and when he makes a reference to the passage in Enoch, behold, he's coming with thousands and thousands, whatever that verse is. I think he's doing what preachers today do when they use an example from, like when they say, when they'll talk about something and they'll say, yeah, it's one ring to rule them all. Or, Frodo making his way to Mordor, like using, or something about Narnia, Aslan on the move, quoting Christian literature to make a homiletical, a sermon illustration in order to bolster their point. And their audience doesn't think they're actually making a claim that there was a guy named Frodo and he actually took a ring to Mordor. I think that that's closer to what's happening with Jude citing those pseudepigraphical passages than Jude actually making claims about what metaphysically happened in history. That's not ironclad, and I'm sure there would be people that would push back and maybe make some good arguments for why not only did Jude believe it actually happened, but we should too. But I haven't seen any that convince me. I think it's much simpler and I think it makes more sense to say Jude is quoting, he's making a sermon illustration. He's quoting literature, not quoting scripture. So that's my take on that one.